You guys spaz with the love, the support on part 1, tap like for part 3, and take a seat because it's about to get beautiful. So as the sun rises inside of a brand new world and everything just looks so gorgeous. I was wrong. I lied. I can't believe I said it to you. How did I even do it? So over the course of today's video, we're going to push Luminous Dreams to even more of the limits, checking out some of the most beautiful things. But first and foremost, inside of the menu right here, the options, we have Luminous Dreams options. Deferred graphics options, we took a look at this in the last part and dove into it. I can't believe I said it. I told you to follow the rules and adjust the brightness toggle all the way down so you can't really see that creeper, but no. According to none other than the creator themselves, Poggy, you should have the brightness near the middle. So it's kind of funny, I shot the whole last part with the brightness just ever so slightly too dim, with it adjusted a little bit more up. I'm not gonna lie, it all looks so much better. Now, I'm gonna spare you some time. We will not go and recap everything we just took a look at, but with the real setting, the big thing I do think we should take a look at is the water, because look at how even more juicy and beautiful, and of course reflective, it looks. Now meet you, a romantic date sunrise over the beautiful ocean. Ladies, take a seat. Look at how beautiful this thing looks. Look at this thing, as the sun slowly reflects off of your hair as you stand next to me, and the smell, it just wafts into my square-shaped nostril. Oh my God. I mean, it's pretty similar to how it was when we checked it out in the last video, but now it's ever so slightly lighter. So in this part, we spent about 15 minutes taking a look at not only the settings, some of the most major ones, but also the overworld. Like, we were so locked into the overworld that I completely forgot that there are 2 other dimensions in Minecraft, and the Luminous Dreams, it makes these other dimensions look so spicy. The first place that we could go, of course, it involves the most portal of all time, and whoa. The glow. The purple hazy glow that glows out of the nether portal in this super smooth obsidian block that is here too. I mean, look, it's gonna be like part 1. I need to learn a couple more adjectives. This stuff is so beautiful and looks so good. In the dead of night though, you can really see the purple glow from the portal. That is so fire looking. And then the glow from the orange fire as well. Like, I mean, it's warm, hot, it's on fire. I feel like I'm sweating by it. Mix in that smooth obsidian right here and you can start to really see that orange reflection bouncing. Hey, all right. Well, I turn around and it seems like you're up to something. The purple glow makes the nether portal feel even more like strange and I guess like odd sciencey. I don't know if that's a term. I'm pretty sure I just invented that, but we'll go with it. Now, moving into the nether, initially, if you're familiar with shaders, whether they be on Bedrock or Java, very familiar feeling. It's dark, and oh, I get approximately 2 frames per second. It's crazy. So, the nether, I mean, it's an intense place. There's a lot of particles, a lot of ambiance, some interesting mobs, lots and lots of animated lava. With Luminous Dreams, if you're maxed out on the settings like you were in the overworld, yeah, you might have to lower them down a little bit, mainly because the nether is just so intense and there's so much going on here. To make it even more crazy, my computer is like pretty beefy and it just can't handle it. One of the biggest things that you can do to improve your performance in deferred rendering is lower the render distance. I mean, after all, inside of the nether, you don't really need some kind of super crazy render distance. So with our settings lowered down to medium, inside of the nether, we can now begin to actually explore this place. Checking this thing out a little bit, initially, it's dark. Giving ourselves a little bit of night vision, and I mean, it does help a little bit, but just due to the glowing nature of all of the lava, everything sort of starts to get washed out. Because of this effect, it's almost as better to just slide into the nether without the night vision at all and just check it out. But look at how good this area looks. Oh no, I know, dear friend, a little spoiler, what are you doing? So an enderman inside of the nether, by default, its eyes are going to be purple and glowy. However, just in general, when the enderman takes a little bit of damage here, when an enderman takes damage, the eyes, you see that, they flash red. It's so cool. All right. But anyways, back inside of the warp forest biome without any night vision at all. Oh my God, that's terrifying. Like, I'm pretty sure that's vanilla sounds, right? Vanilla or not, with a terrifying ambiance and the glow of the warp stems all over the place. I feel like I've left the natural plane of existence and I'm now in some sort of weird alien land. Also, check how the warp logs, the top of them, it's a little bit reflective. That's really cool. Carrying on with our journey throughout the laggy nether, let's move into the nether waste biome. Because real quick, we'll get it out of the way. I mean, yes, it's beautiful and it's nice, but there's also really not too much to see here other than the occasional enderman in the distance that's crept over from a different biome, and the eyes of which have that hazy purple glow when they look in your direction. Compared to the warp forest, the crimson forest biome is going to be pretty similar. Moving into this thing, walking around on the ground, we can expect a pretty similar glowing log situation to go on. The top of these logs is just like with the warped ones. Well, you can see right here, it's also a little reflecting. It's shots like these where you have all of the glowing things, the big strong nether pillars, and just the ambiance in general that looks so hard. Next, our brave nether explorer finds himself inside of the basalt deltas biome. As we make our way through the nether portion of this episode, you may have started to notice a common theme. Inside of this dimension, things are dark and dim. It feels even more dreary than it would in the vanilla game, and even more terrifying too. One of my favorite things is when you're in an area that doesn't have so much gigantic lava ocean and you see one off in the distance. I mean, it looks hot, fiery, and super dangerous. Ooh, but perhaps I've saved my favorite nether ambiance for last, because the Soul Sand Valley with the cool blue lighting. Look at how good that looks with the cool blue lighting inside of this place. I mean, it's dark still, so I know I'm in the nether, but it feels so different when compared to the other biomes. How this blue lighting is done inside of this place is so cool, and it's like the contrast of the darkness with the occasional super bright blue lighting. It feels so dark and empty in here. Oh my, and don't even get me started about the Herobrine skeletons. Like, what are those eyes going on? It's again with these mobs and the glowing eyes when you find them off in the distance and it's like dark. Oh, I feel like somebody got so terrified they went ahead and dropped the log, and I'm not even talking about an oak log, if you know what I'm saying. By far, and it's not even close, the Soul Sand Valley is easily my favorite spot to be inside of this new nether. The lighting looks so good here. But that's just one of the alternate dimensions. There's another. With our video settings cranked all the way back up to ultra and the render distance raised a little bit, next, it's over to the end. Jumping to the end, as one would expect, immediately it's going to be dark. On a theme with this dimension, the end rod. If I go ahead and place one down, immediately the reflective obsidian, this like super smooth stuff, I mean, you can see it clear as day. Now, if we go ahead and make our way up to the main end island here, the void, look at that purple horizon. It's like the sun is setting, except up here, I don't know if the sun ever rose to begin with. The eyes of the Enderman, they are glowing again, and the wings of the dragon, they're seemingly luminous as well. Same with the spikes on its back, and the eyes, a little bit, not as much as the Enderman, but the eyes as well when they angle over towards you. Walking around inside of this place, looking for the... Wait a second. Wait just a second. The like button. I was looking for that just now. It's actually right down below the video. Make sure you take a quick stop at it and tap it, and also subscribe. Most of you who watch these videos are not, and that's a tragedy. The warm lighting that comes from the end crystal sitting atop these pillars. You can rarely see it on the pillars with the end crystals with the cage around it because the light actually has something to properly hit. But if you were theoretically able to get above all of these pillars, due to the fire, I mean, you can see there that it was warm and evil. Now, I don't know what's going on here with this end island. Maybe this is a Bedrock Edition glitch. I don't think it's because of Luminous Dreams, but I have no clue where in the world the central exit to portal thing would be. Like, the dragon keeps going over here and just hovering. So, yeah. But I think it's about time we go ahead and head out to the outside of the end. Because did you know that you don't have to beat the dragon to find the rest of the end? Alternatively, you can just go ahead and run about 1,000 blocks out into the void. Before too long, we have landed at the outer end in the end city. One of the biggest things with the shader pack, any of them, is always going to be the lighting and how it plays with the world a little bit differently than it does in vanilla Minecraft. How it's lighting up this end city right here, it makes it feel like oddly futuristic, but at the same time, to me, a little bit like vintage and old as well. It's a strange combo. The end rod with its surprisingly warm light contrasts with the rest of the end city super well. It also makes you realize how noticeably dark the inside of the end city is. Like, maybe the vanilla team should come back around and update this thing with a little bit more lighting on the inside of it. Outside of the end city, looking around into the abyss that is the rest of the end, it feels just looking around and moving around out here with this purple vibe that really enhances the aesthetic out here so much. It just feels so hopeless, like you're running and there's going to be nothing for probably an eternity. Kind of a cool thing that happens when you interact with the light source out here in the end, when you move close to it, because of how the shaders kind of like behave with lighter and darker lights, when you move close to a light source or look at it, the rest of the purple gets like really, really intense and blown out of a purple. Again, though, with the Enderman, the glowing eyes of the Enderman all over this place, it makes it so much more creepy. Another thing that looks so good here is an eye. You put an eye inside of an end portal frame. It almost has this apparent little glow thing, but it's not properly glowing. And excuse me, sir, I'm a little bit busy. Let's move on. So I figured for this part 2, seeing as I already had the plans to slide into the different dimensions and check them out, that we would go ahead and basically just focus on different locations across the world. Both inside of the other dimensions, but also back inside of the overworld. Inside of the overworld, near the deepest parts of the world, the deep dark biome, nay, the ancient city with the correct graphical settings here, it looks even better. I feel like I'm walking around here looking at the starry night sky or something. It makes me absolutely feel like I would need to cook up a build with the skulk vein or just the skulk block in general. Big contrast difference here between the skulk vein and the skulk block. If you place the skulk block down, I mean, it's like illuminous and creepy looking, but the vein, like this will be the part that really makes that starry night sky pop. Excuse me, I do particularly love how Poggy went ahead and made these two different textures. It makes the deep dark biome, like, especially while you move around in it with its slight reflectiveness on the sculpt blocks, feel so like detailed and not as samey as it would be if the textures were otherwise the same. Even though you definitely can't see as much as you would be able to in the vanilla game, I think maybe it's because of all of this glowing and the fact that you can see the glowing like really far away and it gets noticeably smaller than it does like, you know, when it's closer to you. I guess due to all of the glowing illumination and I guess like perspective or whatever, the ancient city feels even more massive than it does in vanilla. Like this shot right here, I don't even have too much else to add into it other than, I mean, I'm just in love, but like it looks so cool with the ruined building, the lava in the background, and the light all over the walls. This part of the ancient city I thought was kind of trippy because for whatever reason, probably generation bug or something, there is not the very much or like literally any skulk at all. So you can just see the glowing blue lanterns, the rest of the castle. And then like the skulk where it actually properly generated the right way and the rest of the city in the background is beautiful. Enough to make a grown man cry. But that bestie was the ancient city. What about the plain old shemane old just deep dark biome in general? The one you run across inside of the caves all the time. Oh my God, it's breathtaking. It's stunning. It's gorgeous. I want to move my whole base down here. Probably not a good idea, but maybe it's not so bad after all. After I hear the little snitches and the screamers, I mean, that could live here. Look at the glowing, reflective floor right there. That's so cool looking. And dude, if you could quiet down, I'm admiring the beauty of your home sweet home. Please leave me alone. But check this thing out. When it does scream, the void particle, the scream, it pops out big time. Wow, I feel like I'm walking on a layer of skulky shaped glassy goodness. Please stop it. Oh God, not you. Not yet. We're gonna look at you later. All right, well, we might as well take advantage of it. The warden, when a warden walks around inside of this place too, it just like fits in. I don't know why it's so loud in my ears. The noises that this thing is making is terrifying me even more than the actual proper presence of the being, but either way, it's just like so terrifying. Creepy. The deep dark biome with the shaders might just be the best looking place in the entire game. Like, that is so stunning looking. Here's the same cave biome, the deep dark, and the biomeless version of the cave inside of a cave that gets so much larger. And again, Poggy Chef's Kiss, the work that you've done here is beautiful. And check the reflections in the water over there too. Like these small details here, the beauty is really in it. Next up, and last for today, make it a whole lot more warm, and you've got the Lush Caves biome. A biome filled, beaming with life. We walk around inside of this thing with the glowberry vines all over the place, and you feel like you're in home sweet home grandma's house with those old lamps, the incandescent bulbs that are like fiery and warm. Probably wasting a lot of electricity, but still, hey, it's cozy and beautiful. I feel like I should sit down inside of this biome with this warm lighting and like read a book next to an axolotl that I found crawling around. It makes it a warm torchlight that like was once warm, like paled out by comparison, literally, because of how warm the ambient lighting is inside of this thing. And it's all thanks to the glowberries here. It's so nice. This makes me realize how fire this biome would be if you say had a little bit of ambient firefly particles bouncing around inside of this place. Like that, really fill it in all the way and make it look stunning. It's too bad logistically speaking, the spore blossom particles can't really give off light because I think subtle light darting around inside of this biome would look so tasty. And while we're at it, we move one step over into the other cave biome, and look, compared to everything that we've taken a look at today, I mean, yes, it's a beautiful farm just built in, but I mean, it's nowhere near as stunning. It is nice how you can see all of the glowing ores, like the copper looks particularly good, but I mean, if you're looking for amazing, beautiful glowing lights and sights, maybe check out the other cave biomes. The other dimensions of the cave biomes, they're all pretty beautiful looking. What would you like to see in a potential part 3? Tell me anything you'd like me to check out in a potential part 3, and huge shout out to Poggy for giving me access to the shader pack a little bit early. Tap like, subscribe, it's been me, Waddles, links are in the description, drop a follow on all of them, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.